Hello and welcome to Creatures Who Cook, a series of book reviews from the Newburgh Free Library. My name is Sarah Scoggin and I'm an early childhood librarian. So what these books all have in common is cooking, usually by animals or concerning animals. And this is to start off our summer reading program with the theme Tales and Tales. So the first category of books are picture books about cooking that actually have the recipes inside, so you can cook along with your favorites. This is Cooking with Bear, a story and recipes from the forest. So not only is there one recipe, but there are many recipes of Bear and all of his forest friends. What are their favorite foods? Maybe you can make spring salad with the deer, or watercress soup with Bear. So I definitely recommend. This is a brand new book, Cooking with Bear, by Deborah, Hodge, and Lisa Senar. Next we have This Little Bunny Can Bake by Janet Stein. And so there's a little bunny who is very good at baking, but I'm not sure all of his friends are so good at it. Is he going to be a good teacher? Next is Honeysuckle, the Little Bunny, and the Perfect Flavor, written and illustrated by Sierra Jacobson. So Honeysuckle the bunny wants to have her friends over for cake, but she wants the flavor to be perfect for all of them. So she takes a survey of all of their favorite flavors, but they're all different. So what can she do? What can she make to have the perfect flavor? Next up is Bear and Chicken, written and illustrated by Jannie Ho. And when Bear finds Chicken frozen in the snow, he invites her in. But does she have a reason to be worried about his offer of some food? Now for 8 Animals Bake a Cake by Susan Middleton Isla and illustrated by Lee Chapman. So here are 8 animals, very diverse cast of animals there, and they are all trying to bring their various ingredients. And this is a bilingual text, or English sprinkled with some words like horse gallops over, swinging the salt. Sal nes caballo, as he comes to a halt. So you can learn a little bit of Spanish vocabulary along with these characters. Now a story of a very picky eater in Helen Cooper's Delicious, a pumpkin soup story. Little Duck only wants pumpkin soup. What do they do when they don't have any pumpkins? Can Cat and Squirrel find something that he will eat? And what's happening with all the rest of that soup that Duck doesn't want to eat? The next category of books don't have recipes per se, but they each have something specific to recommend them. This is Lily and the Yucky Cookies by Sean Covey and illustrated by Stacy Curtis. And this is one of a series in the 7 Habits of Happy Kids, based on his 7 Habits series for adults. And this is habit number 5, to seek to understand first. So listen first. So what will she learn when her friends all say your cookies are not so delicious? And then we have Stanley's Diner by William B. And this is a great book for very young children to be able to point at objects, be able to follow along as you're moving your fingers under the words. You can see all these different food items and what can you make out of all of these items. And we'll learn later he's making pancakes or a sugar cake or an omelet. What can he make out of all of these food items? Next is Marigold Bakes a Cake, written and illustrated by Mike Marlborough. So Marigold is a baker and he loves Monday because that is his day to bake. But he keeps being interrupted by some unexpected visitors and he has to answer the question, is cooking really for the birds? If you like your picture books with a bit of song to them, this is On Top of Spaghetti written and illustrated by Paul Brett Johnson, and lyrics by Tom Glazer. So it's actually a story based off of the song On Top of Spaghetti, but there's more to the story than just in the song. When the spaghetti restaurant seems to be losing its customers to the restaurant next door, what can he do to make it meatball amazing? Here's a chance to practice a little bit of math as you read without really realizing it, with The Sunday Scoop by Stuart J. Murphy and illustrated by Cynthia Jabbar. So a number of children are trying to have some sundaes for a fair, and how many different ways, combinations can they create if they have vanilla and chocolate ice cream, hot fudge or caramel as sauce options, or sprinkles and nuts as topping options. And a certain cat keeps changing the available combinations by knocking over or eating their ingredients. So it's interesting to do the math over here, figure out how many different toppings are left, how many different combinations or sundaes. And then you could have your fun making up your own. If you added more or different toppings on your own sundae, how many combinations could you make? If you like your food stories have a bit of a fairy tale feel, we have Dontites and Dragons by D. Leone and illustrated by George Ermos. So most time dragons are trepidating and people don't particularly like to have them around, but this knight and this dragon are just a little bit different. In A Cooked Up Fairy Tale by Penny Parker Klosterman and illustrated by Ben Mansell, we follow the fortunes of William, who, though he lives in fairy tale land, does not know the fairy tale stories very well, and he tries to work at all kinds of places like the cafe that serves bears, but they're too picky, too hot, too cold, and the bakery where all of his gingerbread men run away. So what can he do to become an amazing fairy tale chef? Not everyone appreciates him turning the pumpkin for Cinderella into pumpkin pie and the like. Will he have the happily ever after for everyone? And now for a book that's sort of its own category, The Bake Shop Ghost. So here the protagonist is not an animal, but a ghost who does not appreciate others going into her kitchen after she is gone. But we do have the cats accompanying, and we'll find out if you can create a cake to satisfy a ghost. Then there are some books where the creature is the food itself. So this is Senorita Gordita, where Gordita comes to life and runs away, similar to the gingerbread man, but this is the Gordita running away, and will she escape, or will she share the fate of her counterpart there, the gingerbread man? And this takes place in the deserts of the Southwest. It's a good way to see what kind of animals would live in that particular environment. And for something of extreme silliness, if that's what you're looking for, we have Monkey with a Tool Belt and the Maniac Muffins, written and illustrated by Chris Monroe. So Monkey likes his tool belt. This time he has all kinds of cooking tools there. He didn't mean to create the Maniac Muffins, but now that he has and they're destroying the town, will his tool belt be enough to stop them, or is he going to need a very interesting tool to solve that problem? Just a few non-picture books for those readers who are moving up into Easy Reader. We have Pizza Pig by Dana Murray and illustrated by Maria Carpidel. So Pizza Pig makes pizza for all his animal friends, and they all seem to be enjoying them quite well. Slow sloth pizzas or pizzas to go for the monkeys. But why won't the turtle eat the pizza? What could possibly be wrong with his recipe? Or is that it? Is there some other reason? Next we have The Bean Team from Butterbean's Cafe. And this book stars some fairies with magical cookie wings. And the question here is, can they work as a team to create the cookies they need? An unusual picture book that's also similar to a graphic novel. It's told in a comic book format. But what's sort of unique about this one is that every page is an alliterative adventure. So on the first page, the main letter is A, and then B, and so forth. So we have the panda calling and saying, "A bread bandit burgled my bakery before breakfast. My counters and cupboards were completely cleared of carrot cake, cornbread, and crackers. This is a considerably crummy crime." So the story has to both progress and keep to the alphabet alliteration. And finally, some manga, kids manga called Fluffy Fluffy Cinema Roll, starring Cinema Roll, the flying puppy, and his magical puppy friends, who have various adventures. So Cinema Roll loves freshly baked cinnamon rolls and uses his long ears to fly into the sky with his friends Chiffon, Mocha, Espresso, Cappuccino, and Little Milk. So in this particular one, they're trying to run a crepe shop. But the squirrels throw out everything but the nuts, the raccoons wash away the best part, and the chickens want crepes made with worms. So hopefully that has whetted your appetite for some creatures who cook picture books, or any other reading that is to your taste. Thanks so much for watching.